What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and Studio One Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials, pick up your premium membership. It is 50 cents a day. Now, today we're going to be doing an NBA Youngboy Type Beat, which is going to be another one coming out of our Loop Pack Sunday series. All the drums are going to be coming from The Drum Slap Volume 1, available at Studio One Tutorials.com. Studio One Tutorials, the only place that you can get the MIDI files for these tutorials. Now, we're going to focus on working on a higher tempo, and I'm going to be breaking down a MIDI section where I show you guys how to do that signature West Coast mob music 16 triplet clap roll that a lot of people try to put into the beats, but a lot of them fail. All right, everybody. So NBA Youngboy Type Beat.com. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be working at tempo. I do everything in double time, guys. So apology if this isn't a tempo you feel comfortable in, but this is like 192, which is like, I don't know, divided in half. But I'm just so used to using the piano roll like that for trap that I just those are the tempos I work at. So apologies in advance. This is from a pack. This is one of my loops. It's called Talk Up. It's in the Spicy Sunday Loops pack. This is a free loop pack that you guys can find on studio1tutorials.com. This pack is I think it's like the Spice Mob pack, and it's a pack that me and MG did where we themed it around mob music. And so there's not like really a whole lot that you got to do to this besides as the drums and the bass. And the drums are really simple. The kicks, it's just this pattern right here, this boom boom boom, that's it, over and over. And then what's happening is we're using, and the reason why the reason why is it tempos like this, once you get into your higher tempos, once you're in like your, like when you get into like 90 bpms, you can't have a whole bunch of kicks before the snares like you can in trap. It just winds up sounding really busy, and your track is just like it's ridiculous. So my rule of thumb has always been like the higher in tempo you go, like as far as straight time is concerned, the less amount of kicks that you have, and you allow your snares and your hi-hats to really push the groove. So the kicks are doing are playing this same rhythm that the hi-hats are playing. And I'll go ahead and show you, like you could see it on the ghost notes, right? And then for the turnaround, I'm just turning this around by, our root note here is G sharp, so I'm going down to the fifth. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going down to the sixth. I'm going down to the sixth and just turning it around, so you get this type of vibe here. And let me tell you something, guys. When it comes to making these type of beats, when it comes to making like Detroit and Bay Area, like mob music type, memorize this shape. This kick shape right here, where you've got two time divisions in between each of the kicks, that doom doom doom. That right there is a staple in the rhythm. It's like the four on the floor in dance music. Like you want to make sure that you have this rhythm motif in your song somewhere. And then the interesting thing in here, the part that's really cool that you guys are hearing, is this clap roll. This is like, you could tell the producers on YouTube who really fuck with this genre, because they'll have this role in a lot of their beats. It's a really big part of the scene. And And then you can tell like the people who are kind of dabbling and don't really give a fuck, and you never hear this shit in there. And the reason why is because it's not just doing a 16 triplet roll, on the snare for for a quarter bar and chopping it. It's a little bit more to it. You have to follow a velocity pattern that is very similar to the one that I have here, because if it doesn't have that ramp, like if we just did this, listen how ugly this sounds. That's just not cool. That's just not cool. So you want to make sure that you have that velocity ramp, and that's duplicatable in any DAW. Um, the hi-hats are really simple, but again, you want to add velocity to them. Just a straight 18 note will do. And that's really it. Now when you get into your arrangement, it's really just a lot of alternating between these different patterns and letting the drums work. I did add a lead sound to it. You don't have to do that, but having another melodic instrument on top of the loop, adding a lead or something like that, it just gives you more elements to be able to add subtle differences in between the different sections. And that's really important, especially on a track like this, because the drums don't have a lot of room to change. You can only really take parts and in and take parts out. You're not really adding a bunch of rolls or different patterns like you would a slower track. This is where you want to get into kind of adding some different music parts or high frequency content. I mean, you could even do something like taking your hi-hats, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time stretch them, right, and we'll do a slower pattern. Yes, yes, dope. That's a that's a trick from the Lil Jon era. That's how they used to switch up their patterns. They would go from like a quarter hi hat to an eighth to a 16. Um, but yeah, so again, if we go through it, you see, we start without anything, just the loop, right? Then we go into no hi hats, right? Hi hats are going to be high energy, and then also alternating that the clap roll. The clap roll is going to be your boy. That's going to be like your main like get hype section, right? So whenever you want the energy to drop, like letting you know, hey, there's a verse, that is going to be without claps, without clap rolls. And then alternating in between the lead melody, adding the 808, adding them both together, slowing the hi-hats down, introducing a different type of energy before you get into the hook. Hey, hey, hey. And then for the second verse, we're doing similar things, but you see how we drop the hi-hats here. Your second verse should always at least start, at least at the beginning. It should start different than your first verse, right? Your mind is always trying to figure out what is going to play next. And if your mind gets satisfied and it can guess what plays less when what plays next when you're listening to an instrumental, your rapper or your singer is going to get bored and they're going to be like, let me hear something else. And you can achieve that simply by taking your hi-hats out while you have them playing on the other side. Really easy, straightforward arrangement. So I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to take these drums and we're gonna go ahead and add them to the Studio One tutorials, Dropbox for premium members. Once you get a membership, which is 50 cents a day, you will have access to all these different folders. And the reason why that is just super valuable and advantageous is because as I go through making all these different type beat tutorials, it allows you to have the arrangement for all these different types of beats, and then on top of it, a drum pattern to reference, start from, or even use the same drum pattern. It really doesn't matter. So this is CMP with Craftmaster Productions, Studio One Tutorials.com. You guys keep it simple, but don't be basic, and we will see you on the next one.